In live, respectmyregion.com. I'm here today alongside my co-host Rudy Brown on episode 2 of the Respect the Tech podcast. Everybody, we have two very special guests representing the same company. We have Tanvi and Maddy here, the two co-founders of BRCE. These guys have created some really impressive technology that is going to improve functionality. It helps supports overall health and wellness and it prevents injury. We're going to let you guys talk about what it is today. But again, it's Tanvi and Maddy here from BRCE. Tanvi, Maddy, how you guys living? Welcome. How's everything going for y'all?
Everything's going good, can't complain. Thank you so much for having us on here. We really appreciate it.
No, of course, man. It's an honor to have you guys. And Rudy here, it's an honor to be alongside you today. This is our inaugural episode. I know you are a well-known and a well-respected journalist, copywriter here in the space. You wouldn't call yourself a journalist, but we do that now together. Respect my region just a little bit. Right. And it's amazing, and I'm honored to be here along with you. This is historic in some ways because I remember my first episodes back then, and I didn't really have anybody to do it alongside me. And so I'm really excited to be rocking with you, bro.
I'm excited to be here, excited to get the first one out of the way so we can continue to cover some of these awesome brands and talk about the technology out there that, it doesn't really get seen, but the behind the scenes are never heard. So I think we're going to do an excellent job of telling the story behind the brand and the story of the people behind the brand who you already introduced. So I'm excited to ask some questions.
Tanvi and Maddy, you guys know full well what it's like to be secondary in your own industry. Now, what does that mean? It's all about the shoe, right? It's always just about the shoe. It's never been about the laces. You guys are putting some real solid attention, technology, innovation into the undervalued part of the tennis shoe, athletic sneaker experience. Maybe even just your basic shoe experience, right? So I want to talk a little bit today about who you guys are, what you guys do, what you've created. Could you please break it down briefly? Let's start with you, Tanvi, ladies first, if we could. And then Maddy, you can break it down and fill in some gaps. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Love it. Perfect.
So, hi, everyone. My name is Tanvi. As you know, I am a former athlete, and I also am a student at Michigan State University, so go green. I'm also one of the co-founders for BRCE.
And hi everyone, my name is Maddy. Real name is Madhav Agarwal. I come all the way from India. I'm currently a junior here at Michigan State. Played cricket all my life.
Wow.
I'm a lover of sports, hence came to a Big Ten sports school. I'm the other co-founder. We're one of the three. And we have Martel, who's our other co-founder, couldn't really make it here to this meeting, but really excited. Thanks for the platform. And I'm very excited to share our journey with you guys here today. Thanks for calling us.
Of course, man. Thank you guys. This is so cool, right? When I discovered you guys at CES, it gave me chills because when I was your guys' age, and I was doing RMR with the homies, right, with our friends in college, 2011, I was 19 years old. I couldn't imagine, putting this level of science and creating technology. For us, events was us being we thought we were geniuses by just bringing people together. We thought we were so smart by working the system, and here you guys are putting together a love and a passion that you guys have for sports and athletics, and then really using it to solve problems. And so I'm, like I said with Rudy, I'm honored to be here on you guys' show with you all today. You guys inspire greatness, science, and you're preventing injury, and there's a lot of really solid benefits and values to what you create. And so Tanvi, why don't you break down who is BRCE? What do you guys do? What are you known for?
Yeah. So BRCE is a material tech startup. So we create function-based performance, athletic, and safety gear for athletes and industrial use. This really stemmed from both of our personal problems. Like as Maddy mentioned before, we were both former athletes and we got, again, continuously injured throughout our process. We had a lot of issues due to our equipment and finding also niche gear. Again, we didn't really play very popular sports like football and basketball. I did track and then Maddy did cricket. So it was kind of hard to find that gear that really helped us with our performance. And once we ended our athletic career and we kind of, moved on from the scene, we always still had in the back of our mind of like, how can we make this experience better for the athletes, that are coming behind us? How can maybe they have a longer athletic journey than us? And that is really kind of that founding principle behind Brace, and really one of the founding reasons we started it. It started as a pain point that we just wanted to solve for ourselves, and then evolved into something much more.
Yeah,
That's
and
incredible.
in what we're not really famous right now in terms of our product. It's now been an year. I would like to consider us not
Yeah.
famous right now, but um, what we're famous for in the community is we've done innovation in something so simple. Obviously, this was sort of a pain point when we started out. It was almost like a joke. Who is reinventing the wheel? Why would we want to change shoelaces? But now we're famous as the people who actually have tried to change something so niche, something so simple, something so overlooked. And what we want to be famous about is we want to be the next Nike of high performance athletics, not commercial merchandise. So we want to create accessories only and only when they help athletes perform better and be but a minor part in their overall performance. And that's what we want to be famous for come the long run. But that's how it
Incredible.
started.
That's an excellent mission. I guess my question to jump in: does Brace stand for anything? Is it like an acronym? Because I noticed it's spelled kind of like uniquely.
Yeah, I'll let Maddie take this because he actually came up with the name too, and it's kind of a fun story.
Yeah. Some so we came up with the name because it started off as just a colorful shoelace business. I'm a big time sneakerhead. I can tell Joey is too with the
I am
hat,
too.
but uh, we'll count everybody in. But when we started out, we wanted to create customizable laces for sneakers. Turns out it was not really a product market fit. It was rather a nice to have accessory for a very little proportion of sneakerheads all over the world. So we later transitioned to our engineering backgrounds. We both are currently engineers. So we realized that there was way better innovation needed to be happening within shoelaces. The idea of naming it Brace came in because my sister is the more intelligent sibling. She's going to be a dentist in 4 months. So we realized, like, if what is one thing that keeps things together, it's braces for teeth. So you were like, we are gonna create braces for your running cleats now. So like
Mm.
the way
Wow.
braces keep your teeth together, brace laces will keep your cleats together. And that's how it started out. And we removed the edges because it looked way cooler without the edge.
Ah, that's
It
cool.
does. It does. It looks way doper. Yeah.
I like how
No.
your sister inspired that. That's really cool right there.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Joey. I didn't mean.
No. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's incredible. Dentists and braces, man. No, it's interesting to me because, I think about I have a bunch of different shoes over here from a bunch of different brands. I have Giannis Antetokounmpo's shoes, Nike on my feet now. I've got some T Max. Rudy always shows my love for the T Max, and those are Adidas, and they all fit differently, and so. And they're basketball shoes for this, running shoes for that, but I feel like, and I had never thought about this until I met you guys. Is it all just the same material for every shoelace at that point, basically? And so it's like, because I've seen some athletes that are so big and so fast, I saw them blow out their shoes. Like I've literally seen the NBA players, college athletes, G League things where people break through their shoes. The concept of that is crazy because does it happen to you or I, the college athlete, high school athlete, former nothing athlete, right? Am I gonna bust through my shoes? No. But you're telling me that that's a possibility because all shoelaces are basically the basic same?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially, yes. Like a lot of like even some collegiate athletes and some pro athletes do definitely go through their shoes, and even with laces, specifically in tennis, we met a lot of tennis players and soccer players whose laces would just snap in half, essentially, and
Wow.
sometimes this is through the middle of the game, and obviously that is not an ideal situation you want to be in, especially in a game like soccer where you're out, maybe it's raining, it's snowing. You don't want to have your foot not be secure to your footwear. So
Mm-hmm.
it is a big problem that we've talked to with athletes specifically, and there are some athletes who do maybe prefer a certain type of shoe or a certain type of brand because of it, because they've had so many issues with the footwear themselves. And Joey, to answer kind of your first point, the material is usually the same that is used in all shoelaces.
Yeah,
Wow.
Just a
and
standard like synthetic.
it is standard now. We were in a rather detailed conversation about this with some folks at Nike, who exactly brought up the history of shoelaces. I'll just wind it up rather quickly. Is it started off with cloth laces, something like a cotton, but
Mm,
then as athletes started performing better, athletes started performing faster. Um, Cotton, as it does, started tearing apart, started fraying away in the weather. That's when cotton transitioned to polyester or
mm,
Kevlar laces altogether. What came with Kevlar and polyester laces were they were way more cheaper to source, but
Wow.
as Kevlar and polyester are, they were smoother and smoother and smoother over time. So in this race of making the footwear to source cheaper and cheaper, they went to cheaper materials which were as slippery as they are today. Hence, the durability increased, but the anti-resistance decreased more and more. So because the
mm,
material was cheaper, it's at a point where today most laces today are made out of either different polymer groups, polyester or nylon mixes with some portions of cotton. This has
Hmm.
led to shoelaces coming undone more and more. And
Which
one really
which
big,
increases injuries, correct? There's a
it does,
direct impact and correlation to that, correct?
yeah, it's a total liability. And this is something that folks at Under Armour now, who we're working with as of now, brought up was shoelaces are a component of some footwear where it is the first 10 seconds a customer sees the footwear itself is just the shoelaces, whereas shoelaces
mm.
are the last 10 seconds a company making the actual shoes gives towards deciding on what shoelace to choose.
Wow.
So that's how the
That's
prioritization and the first impression and the last impression we're building towards the shoe changes when it comes to the actual builder of the shoe versus the actual user of the shoe.
But guys, I'm looking through your website, and there's a variety of things on here. Now, before we dive into this, Rudy, is there anything you want to touch on before I start going into the website stuff here?
Yeah, I actually, because I feel like what they're talking about is a natural segue to just talk about like what
Yeah.
makes your laces different and like I'm sure it's the tech and the material, but I would like to the way you broke that down. I would have never thought.
About shoelaces that way.
Yeah, and I'm an avid shoe fan. I buy way too many shoes. And even when you were talking about, I was like, I never really thought, and that's why I asked, are all the laces the same? Is it all this cheap
Yeah.
material? And even you saying when you look at the shoe, that's the first thing you see, but they say that for the last. That's kind of crazy. So I just kind of
Powerful.
know like what makes y'all's different. Like, why would I buy your shoelaces versus another brand's or replace the shoelaces on a Jordan shoe, for example?
Yeah, so Brace overall is a material tech company. So the entire reason someone would use our product is based out of technological and data-driven insights. When it's
Mm,
something as simple as a shoelace, which is right here, the first proposition is it looks like a regular shoelace. The way these materials work is, and you could never tell through the naked human eye or even through touches, the material has micro ridges on it. So under a microscope, this looks like Velcro, but to the naked human
mm,
eye, it does not look like Velcro whatsoever. It looks like a regular shoelace. When
wow.
Joey came to our booth at CES, we almost did a blind test with the laces in, and he could never tell the difference. That's the entire IP. You would use our laces because our laces don't just not come untied during performance. The grip doesn't loosen over time, and they do
Mm,
not fray away in sports where there's extreme weather conditions all the way from biking to ice hockey to even something like soccer where there are no timeouts whatsoever. It could rain, hail, rain, fire someday, and you would still have to play the game until the halftime comes up. So in a game like that where there are no stops whatsoever, you would wear our laces because it does not just give you anti-resistance, but also distraction less gameplay. And the
We've all
way
seen
and
that kid that has the torn up shoelaces.
always there's
We've
always
all
that one.
seen
or
that
they're
kid.
untied and they're running down the court, and you're like,
Oh,
but you're in the middle of the game, like you said, so it's impossible. And if you're a real athlete, the last thing you're worried about is your shoelaces. You know what I mean? You're trying to, outdo your opponent. So I think it's very, very, and I like how
phenomenal.
you said, like, a lot of people don't think about this. And when you guys first started, they're like, who's trying to reinvent the wheel for shoelaces? And then here you are, like, look, this is why. Because I don't know,
It's
people don't pay attention to pain points until it happens to them. So I'm glad, you guys came up with this solution.
How did you
it
guys discover
started
that? That's my question. At what point did you realize that? Was it through what the sports you were playing cricket, or was it through track and having physically experienced it? Was that the point was in your face, or did you guys look and see one of these videos where
Yeah.
someone made Shaqtin' a Fool's top 10, right? And like they busted through their shit and then fell or whatever. Like, what was that like? How did you have that moment?
Yeah, the way it started was because I was the kid on the field with the ton of shoelaces all the time.
The truth
So
is there.
So if I had to take up entrepreneurship, why not cure something I deal with on a
Yeah.
daily basis? I think that's also the first principle for any entrepreneur. We don't really give advice, but that was our driving force was even if this does not blow up and if not everybody on this planet is wearing our laces by the end of next 5 years, at least we're wearing our own product because we had a problem we cured over time. And you go, Dennis.
Yeah,
That's
and
powerful right there. Just want to show love to that mindset. That is so powerful. Such a great perspective. Tanvi, you were about to say?
yeah, no, I just wanted to echo. Yeah, it was a problem that we faced personally, and it was just like we just want a solution for ourselves. It wasn't anything bigger. We weren't trying to reinvent the wheel or like reinvent shoelaces, obviously. And as we were working on it, we saw the potential for it to like maybe help other people. It started with athletes because again, we were athletes and we understood that pain point specifically, but we realized this could be applied to so many other different segments, so many other people who are affected by this, whether it's even just like the everyday person who's just getting frustrated.
The fastest people on earth in track and field are using basic shoelaces. Rudy, with
They
these
are, yeah.
shoelaces, Rudy, with these shoelaces, I could dunk. I might be able to do something you
You
never
might be able
thought.
to do it, man. You might be able to.
This could be
I
crazy.
have one more question. Since you guys go to Michigan State,
Yeah.
and that's the Big Ten,
Yeah.
athletics is huge in the Big Ten, especially at your school. Football and basketball are huge. Like,
Yeah.
do you guys ever see like Brace like being like an official like accessory of like the Big Ten, like where all the schools are using the shoelaces, or is that something that already taken place, or like I'm just curious there as well.
Yeah, what's good with that?
Yeah, we would definitely love to see like, brace as an accessory for the Big Ten. It's something that we are trying to work with. So we do work with, for example, like different athletes specifically from these different Big Ten schools and more on, and then kind of pushing like that bottom up and pushing it. So having them advocate to their team and then to their equipment manager and going so on. But our goal is eventually to be like whether it's Michigan State or any other school or even
Technical partner.
like be a technical partner for the Big Ten.
Right, because I heard you say like Nike was like your like aspiration. So it's like
Yeah.
Nike and Reebok and Adidas and all these brands partner with like the soccer clubs and stuff, and just so I was just thinking, and
Yeah.
it's just something interesting, especially with the story. It seems like a lot of people would resonate with that.
Mhm.
People at the brands.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm going to pull up your website here real briefly. All right.
Mhm.
Walk me through a little bit what we're looking at here. Brace times Jeremy Fears. Is this one of these athletes that you guys are talking about from a collab standpoint?
Yeah. So Jeremy Fears is our tier one athlete. He's also the captain of Michigan State's basketball team.
Awesome.
He's currently a sophomore, only 19 years old. And our entire campaign, which is now a refurbished campaign on social media, is entirely around his athletic journey from injury to now being the center of our team and the center of attention towards a school which is known for its basketball nationwide.
Yep.
Jeremy's personal story is, I won't go into too much detail because we want people to look out for the campaign coming out in a week, the longer extended campaign video. But it's the journey from an athlete who, just within his freshman year, is a four-star recruit, got shot over in his hometown over Thanksgiving break, had to miss out on the entire season. But the way he recovered so quickly and the impact he's made in terms of assists and also almost coordinating our offensive lineup within basketball, that's been remarkable and a journey that we realized was worth sharing because it is something as simple as a shoelace that we're trying to make consumer purchase from us. But what we also get a chance with is it's not just overlooked gear, it's also overlooked journeys as athletes that we want to almost touch light upon or shine light upon. It is not just us improving athletes' performance, it is also athletes who were down once but now are trying to come back up again and the impact they've shown on the game, that gives almost like two birds, one stone with the marketing
Yeah.
that we're trying to push on. So the entire campaign used to be embrace the lace. It was a way more lively tagline, and that is something we still keep solid when it comes to the team building. But the entire campaign has changed from not just embracing the lace, but the question, what holds you together? So in a
Mm,
time where
Mm.
athletes who are sometimes injured, an athlete who was shot, an athlete who was let go of the team, what is still holding them together, and how we tie it down to, pun intended, shoelaces that never come untied and better athletic gear is the entire gist of our marketing now.
Let's go. Let's go, man.
beautiful. That was
Y'all are fire with it. Okay, so I'm gonna pull just because I wanted to hear you guys say that, man. I'm gonna pull your website back up again. I want to go over the technical functionalities real quick that are listed on your site. Give me 1 second as I go ahead and boss this back together on it. So what are we looking at here? What are these three different things? Look the same, act different. Single knot is super strong, perfected for all sport. What does this mean in terms
Yeah.
of brace?
Yeah, so like to come back to your previous question when you asked what makes bracelets laces different, why should people buy them? It's these three principles that we really drawn out. So the first one is looks the same, act different. Again, they look and feel just like a regular lace, so you can't even feel the difference. But the micro ridges on them like have that anti resistance during activity, and they will still come off just like regular shoelaces. So there's not any deviation from something that you would see on the shelf. Next, the single knot is super strong. Is again to first talk about our tensile strength, our extremely high tensile strength. When we talked about, hey, there's some sports where laces snap in half, that doesn't happen with our laces because they are super strong and durable. And then everything that we claim, even the anti-resistance, it's not going to come untied, is with a single knot. We don't believe in double knotting, so everything we guarantee is just with a single knot of your lace. And last but not least is perfected for all sports. Again, all of like the different laces we have for sports, they have niche sports specific benefits that our laces guarantee for the athlete. So again, we're not just saying like, oh, we have hoops laces, we have soccer laces. All of these laces have a specific configuration, and then they yield a specific benefit that is beneficial for that athlete in that sport.
That's powerful, and so I saw here there's a variety of different items. We've got sports, we've got the naughties for kids, and then the sneakers line. These are different lines of for different scenarios, right?
Yeah.
Sports. This looks like the track and field laces, the tennis laces, soccer, aka football, pickleball. You guys are over here in the pickleball
they got
world,
all
huh?
laces.
Okay. Let's go. You know what's cool about that? And I'm gonna we obviously so finish up. We've got the hoops, laces, basketball. We've got the all sport down there. But to focus in on the pickleball one here, right? I really like that because the reality for pickleball is that it's a lot of very quick movements back and forth, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
strain and twist and a lot of just I'd say this and that and whatever the laces, right? And so something that I've seen is it definitely people's shoes get untied in the world of tennis and in the world of basketball and in the world of pickleball and all that kind of stuff. Like, what was it like creating these laces for specific sports? What went into that?
Yeah, the thought process behind creating sports specific laces, and this is not just for pickleball, could be compared to even soccer, tennis, or even basketball, was first realizing what is a niche pain point within that sport. So it would be something as simple as there are no timeouts, it's played under every single weather. Um, People tape up their entire boots, and that's soccer. A regular watcher of the game would not know that fact. That is something that not just hinders with performance, but also is in the back of the head, back of the mind for a football player. And I'm talking about soccer right now. Global football. In terms of pickleball and tennis, we realize within racket sports specifically, there's a lot of sudden movements. There's a lot of sharp turns and also a lot of slides on the court. And the way
Mm-hmm.
they are made is such of hard rubber that the force and pressure, like significant force is exerted on towards the tail ends of the laces. So the last eyelets, which are the holes within the shoe, exert the most force, which is also, these eyelets are made of plastic. So when you put a lot of force on a very tiny area, that's an extremely high pressure, this cuts through the laces entirely. So within tennis, what we were seeing is unlike any other sport, within the sport, shoelaces were not just coming untied, they were snapping in half and cutting over time. And this was
Wow.
leading to people just not just rolling their ankles, but their shoes getting flied around the court, which is also, if you take a technical timeout, that is, you're not just playing anymore. It's a 5 minute break, so you lost your rhythm, and you have to try on an entirely new shoe. You have to bring that rhythm back. So that's an
Hmm.
entirely new pain point within just specifically tennis and pickleball athletes. So we were going sport after sport, finding niche pain points and trying to turn them into advantages in terms of how can our laces be modified for different sports, and not just the way they look or the way they feel to the touch, but also the way they act in terms of specific footwear for different sports. And hence we came out with different laces. And on our website, as soon as you click a different sport, the specific benefits for each laces are clearly laid out for athletes specific to that sports to know why they should prefer our laces above any commoditized options on Amazon. Whereas for a regular consumer like us, who are former athletes, if we want just athletic laces, we can still find generic but still effective all sport laces on our website as well.
I'm going to go ahead and just pull up the basketball ones real quick, and then Rudy, I'll let you ask some of the final questions to round out the interview. How's that sound, guys?
Sounds
Perfect.
good.
All right. So looking at this basketball hoop shoe here, right? We have it here on the left. It's a beautiful, beautiful mock-up. We've got the laces. They definitely look like the standard black laces I would want to get on most of my shoes. But reading through this, it says made from patent composite material. Our laces are 8 times stronger than steel, yet lighter than traditional cotton polyester blends. You said same, but different kind of impact and value, right? Looks the same, acts totally different. Anti-slip texture, microscopic ridges, securely tied through every game, near perfect elasticity, preventing hyperextension, that snapping we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then proven in rigorous basketball tests, these laces deliver better shot stability, stride control, and injury prevention. Why? Those are full body motions and movements, and there's different types of force throughout the shoe, right?
Yeah.
Crazy to think that that much science has been not really paid that much attention to for this long. Crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's something we were
Crazy.
extremely specific about is people buy shoelaces off of Amazon just to replace their shoes. Sometimes athletes don't even buy replacement laces, they just buy a new pair of shoes altogether. There's more
Wow.
than 200,000 laces sold on Amazon every quarter. That is 800,000 laces. These are not specific laces, these are just colored options of laces for kids, athletes, and industrial use pulled all together on Amazon. If we can
Mm,
innovate within something that people are not even paying that much heed or interest towards, except the way their shoes would look with different colors of laces, how can we innovate in something so specific yet so overlooked? It is
Mm,
something that matters extremely for knee stability and ankle coverage. These are actual reports as how tight your shoe is to your foot and how stable your foot is within your footwear impacts not just your ankle for obvious reasons, but also your knee overall. And if
absolutely.
we can something that changes the grip to your footwear over time or acts different within your footwear within different games, that is a big pain point cured in not just customizability or anti-resistance, but also overall impact and performance. We are turning something that's an accessory to footwear, that's something like in a commodity, to actual performance gear. That's the overarching goal here.
right. And I
The
think people who are using
future
it
of
probably
footwear.
have an advantage, you know what I mean? Or at least a mental advantage where they're like, I don't have to worry about the function of my shoe. And then my question is, because I know we're talking a lot about like the tech and the function. I just wanted to like talk about how do you decide about like the colors, the designs, the styles? Because I know it originally was like a fashion thing, but you
Yeah.
realize like it probably would be better as a function thing. But of course, like even when things are functional, you know, the eye, everything catches our attention with our eye. So I just kind of wanted to know like what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it actually also stemmed from our customers. Initially, again, when we said we were very particular about the specific sports and like finding those niche pain points, that we went to like the athletes themselves. Obviously, they know the best. They're the one who are playing the game every day, and we had like the best D1 players and the people who were top in the nation with us, and as we were talking to them. So that's where it even came about colors and styles. Like even before that, our foremost priority was the function. It didn't matter what color or what style it was, but we also understood that there was that element, as you said, when someone sees it directly. And a lot of it actually stemmed from our customers, input from them, and just iterating continuously, always having that customer discovery and that process of listening to the customer.
Cool. And another thing that I thought about that is because the name was from like, the sister becoming a dentist. I was like, maybe they have like special colorways or like special designs that are like paying homage to the story of the brand. So I just kind of wanted to touch base on that.
Yeah, because we started out as a sneaker lace company, we went to SneakerCon Detroit. They came to 313 back in April last year, and I apologize, I called Detroit 313. It's way more convenient. This was during the NFL draft weekend in Detroit, where the Lions broke the all-time attendance record with more than
Mm,
1,000 people in downtown Detroit. It was the perfect place for us to launch. That's why we went there. If anything, SneakerCon was the most impactful in telling us as people creating a business that fashion still matters a lot. People would not buy in and maybe an ugly looking shoelace for a pair of footwear that they love or perform in every single game. And it was
right.
beginning that in that moment that we realized a selling point for people who don't care about performance enough is just going to be laces. People still want to customize their footwear. So as of today, we customize laces for different athletic programs. For Michigan State, we do Spartan green laces with white branding on it. Similarly, for Michigan, we do a maize blue with golden branding on it. But this is another selling point for these athletic
We
programs
won't tell
where,
we won't tell anybody else at Michigan State about that. We'll keep that one just our little.
Yeah, I was about to say you could do that.
yeah, but we to date we do 8 different colors. Six of them are available on the website, but we still customize them to your favorite color and your branding if you're an athletic team belonging to a high school, D1, D2, or even pro. And
Cool.
that is what we're even doing with our brand partners as of today, including DeWalt, and
Wow.
hopefully with Under Armour in the long run. But as of today, we can do any color in the world with any branding on it because we can customize something that has so minor a real estate to still look fashionable.
So in the future, safe to expect more customized options, probably continued expansion throughout the diversity of footwear availability, right? Other sports, more science, probably some studies and things like that, more athlete collaborations, and
Right.
ultimately, guys, more big moves from Team Brace. Guys, you guys got to get out of here in a couple minutes, so I appreciate y'all. I usually like to leave our guests with the opportunity to share anything that they want to let the people know. So what do you guys have coming up? What would you like to share with the people? And last part, where can they support, buy it, or do a commercial order, whatever it is?
Yeah. Again, what we do have coming up is our athlete campaigns, and that's on social media. So feel free to check out Brace_shop, BRCE_shop on Instagram. Also, we are open on our website. It's just literally brace.shop, so BRCE.shop to check us out. I know Joey also was swiping through it. We have different sizes, colors, and different styles as well.
Yeah, and recently we also became the number one student startup in the state of Michigan, and there's an official governing body for student entrepreneurship in the United States. We ended up becoming student entrepreneur champions out of the United States. So if
Yay!
if not through our laces, you will hear about us through the innovation that we're doing with other brands in outside of shoelaces. And
Fantastic.
our long-time goal is to just innovate within athletic gear. And as always, thank you so much.
Embrace
Embrace
the
the lace.
lace.
Let's go! We got to embrace the lace, baby. Y'all heard it here
Hey,
first on Respect the Tech Podcast, Episode 2. I'm Joey Brabo. This is Rudy Brown. That's Tanvi and Maddy. And make sure you guys check out BRCE.shop, right? To go visit
Yep.
and ultimately support, buy the products, check out the gear, learn as they continue to innovate and change the game. I love what you guys are doing. I appreciate it, Rudy. This was amazing. Thank you guys all again. We'll see y'all on the